Hey everyone, how's it going? Like Butter here, and today I have some Uncharted 4 A Thief's End multiplayer gameplay for you. And there was a beta stress test this past weekend. If you're watching this on Sunday, it just finished today. I'm not sure if it's still up when you're going to see this video. But I decided to get on and kind of mess with it a little bit because I never played an Uncharted game. Now, I do have Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which I'll be playing. I'm super excited to play through these games because I've heard so many good things about the Uncharted series. Now, I was told that you play this game because of the single player, much like The Last of Us. I mean, seeing that this is Naughty Dog, they have like a similar system where they focus mainly on single player, but then they put out a decent multiplayer as well. And I wanted to give my opinions on this multiplayer. So there was about 3 or 4 maps that you could play. The maps seemed pretty good. The only one that I didn't really enjoy was the Aztec one where you're up in the jungle and you're like, people are swinging on ropes and there's like rocks. The cool thing is, though, that they added destruction to a lot of the structures around the multiplayer. So you can shoot with an RPG a giant pillar, and if the pillar falls on somebody, it's going to give you a kill. Now, I want to compare this to The Last of Us multiplayer because that's the only, multiplayer that I played that kind of feels like this game. It feels extremely similar to Last of Us, except a little bit faster paced. The Last of Us is kind of a creep around so that you can't be seen through walls and then kind of use the cover. It's basically a third-person cover shooter, exactly like The Last of Us, but it seems like it's a little bit faster paced. Now, I know I've been told that they down the speed of the multiplayer quite a bit on this game, and a lot of people think it's to try to make it feel like The Last of Us. Now, honestly, it feels like The Last of Us in certain ways that it is, like I said, a third-person cover-based shooter, but I enjoyed it a lot, actually. The only thing that I found, kind of screwy was the controls. Now, I'm assuming when the full game comes out, by the way, it got pushed till May for the 4th time. I think this game got pushed, but I think it would have felt a lot more natural to have the cover and rolling as X, and then square to reload, and then triangle to jump. Now, it's really strange the way they have the control set up, but I was told that you'll be able to change them when the game comes out, so that'll be a little bit better. But any third-person shooter that I've played on PlayStation, I just feel like it makes more sense. It just kind of feels awkward to have X's jump and then triangle as reload. I don't know, I just hope I can map the buttons to different things. The Last of Us is one of those games that I really enjoyed, but I didn't have anyone to play with. And I think this game will be one of those games as well. I feel like if you have a couple of friends to play with, it may be a pretty good time. Even if you're playing solo, I had fun playing this solo, but it's definitely a team-oriented game. You know, you got the downs, you have being able to revive teammates, which you're going to see. I get revived a good amount of times this game, and I get a couple of revives myself. So, there are a few things that kind of turned me off of The Last of Us, one being the sniper rifles, where even if you headshotted somebody, you know, they would go into a DBNO state and it wouldn't one-shot headshot them. Now, sniping in this game I tried doing is extremely difficult, but when you hit a headshot, it's really satisfying. But what would be even more satisfying is if they didn't go into a DBNO state. I think if you're using a sniper rifle and you get headshotted, you should just instantly die. But I know that would kind of change the pace of the game, but I think the snipers need a little bit of a buff in this game. They feel very, very weak, very hard to use, very, very clunky. But overall, the game felt great. It was really enjoyable. Now, is it a game that I'm going to get on and play, you know, every single day for the multiplayer? No, of course not. It's not going to be one of those types of games. It's going to be one of those games you jump on with your buds, maybe, I don't know, once a week, just to have a little bit of fun for maybe 2 or 3 hours and just play the multiplayer and have a good time. Now, like I said, you know, everyone that's ever played the Uncharted series, they tell me you get the game for the single player, not the multiplayer. So the fact that the multiplayer is decent at all is pretty damn cool. And I think a lot of people, if you're into third-person cover-based shooters, you will enjoy this game quite a lot. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this style of game, you get a lot of power-ups. There's basically in-game currency, which you can see on the left, where you can use that to get power-ups. You know, you can call in AIs like sidekicks. You can get RPGs. You can get. I saw this one thing earlier today that I've never seen before, where some guy was like zooming around the map. I've never quite seen something like that. But there's like perks that you set up, and it's money based, and it's much like The Last of Us in that sense, the way that the game is set up. The gameplay feels a little bit different. It doesn't feel as slow paced. One of the worst things about The Last of Us, in my opinion, was the fact that you could see people through walls. That was like the cringiest thing ever. It was called like hunter mode or something, where you would like listen. I don't know exactly what the name was, but you would basically listen and you'd see an outline of a person through a wall. And I think that really killed the multiplayer for me, even though I think it was pretty good. But seeing in this game, you don't get that too often unless someone has a special perk that does it. And the maps are a lot smaller than the Last of Us maps, so it feels like really fast, compact action. And I think this game is going to be super fun. But if you're only into multiplayer games, I don't think this game will be for you, although the multiplayer is pretty fun. You know, if you're a pretty complicated person and like in-depth multiplayer, this is basically just something else to get people playing the game, you know, outside of playing co-op or single player. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for this game, and if you are, make sure to tune in when I do the playthrough of the Nathan Drake collection, which will probably happen before this comes out, so maybe like in a week or two. The Division's coming out right around the corner, so I'm going to be playing that most of the time, but maybe like we'll make sure that we play it before Uncharted 4 comes out, so we can go through, you know, all the games and make sure that we get caught up on the storyline so that we know, you know, what we're playing. But this gameplay is wrapping up. Thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop this video a like, and I'll let the rest of the gameplay kind of just run on. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.
Do you lack the will to fight? Will deny this. Welcome to my world. An even contest?